my accountant job was just to pay the bills, and I was super picky, just trying to find the job that can give me the most flexibility. I didn't care how much I got paid. I didn't care if I liked the job. I just wanted flexibility. Just pay my rent and then let me be a real estate investor on the side. So during that job, I got engaged, and then I was there for, I think I hit my year there. And then I got married and went on my honeymoon. So got married, went on my honeymoon. Everything's good. Went on my honeymoon for a week. The day I get back, I walk into the office. This has never happened to me before, so I wasn't expecting anything. They're just like, hey, just come sit in the office real quick. And I'm like trying to put all my stuff down. And they're like, no, just come in real quick. And I'm like, okay, 1 second. Let me just put my lunch away. So I put my lunch in the fridge and everything. Finally, they make me come to the office, and they're just literally, I was there for probably 3 seconds. They just go, we're getting rid of your position. I'm sorry to break the news to you.
Hey, welcome back to the Pursuit of Property podcast. I am sitting here today with Cade, and I can say for certain this is one of the podcasts we've been pretty excited about bringing to the table. It's not the most planned out podcast. We haven't had a virtual in a long time, but we have a guest on here that I think is going to make some waves here. So I want to introduce Tim Warner out of Phoenix, an investor on Instagram, baby. Tim, didn't mean to cut you off. How are you today?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, I am. I'm excited to be here, excited to talk to you guys. And, I guess at the end of the day, this is where I want to be further in my imaginary career. So it's cool to get to start now and talk to you guys. So I'm pumped.
Dude, let's go. Yeah. Well, I'll give a little bit of a breakdown on how we were even introduced to you, Tim. We were sitting in our team meetings, one of our daily team meetings in the morning last week, and the owner of our company, he wraps up the meeting with kind of like an inspirational, motivational, just for the team. And he's like, yeah, this is all coming from, I saw a reel on Instagram the other day and I'll let you give a breakdown into the thing you're doing, but saw a reel on Instagram the other day of a guy going through something really, really cool, and just left a little comment on there. I want all of you guys on the team to go check this out, go read my comment, go show him some love. And so he sent that into our team Slack, and then we basically found you on Instagram that way, which is really, really cool. So I'd love for you to give a breakdown on what that was.
Can I interrupt here? Tim, I had actually seen your Instagram a few different times before, and I look back, I actually had liked some of his prior reels. I had never commented, but it was funny that Jason had seen it too.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen like on Instagram and TikTok, there's those people that play golf, and they'll be like day whatever of playing golf until I make a hole in one. And so they'll just try one time every single day until like day 130 they'll make a hole in one or something like that, or playing golf every day until I make a par 3 with every club in my bag, whatever. So I joined a mentorship a little bit ago, at 95 days to be exact. I can keep track now. And basically I just had this idea. They mentioned to be loud on social media as a way to just kind of make connections and stuff. So I just kind of put the two together. I'm like, I don't know. I like watching those. And like you said, they pop up every once in a while. You'll see them. I mean, if you don't follow them, you'll see them on day 1, then you'll see them on day 30, and then like 40 or whatever. So like just to keep myself accountable and to show my mentors that I really am doing this every day. I'm not just like, faking it. I'll just start posting every day, day 1 of, trying to wholesale until I make $100,000. So that's where it started.
Well, dude, before we even talk about the whole Instagram thing, because I think that's a topic that Cade and I, we both felt like, man, we could be doing better seeing what you were doing on Instagram and how consistent you were. How did you even get into the real estate world? Because a lot of the listeners on our podcast specifically, they either are brand new and haven't done their first deal, or they haven't even made the jump to try and they've just been wanting to do it. So I know that you're now in this place where you're actively practicing, trying to get these deals, but how did you even get started?
Yeah, so I went to school to be an accountant, which was it was pretty surprising to a lot of my friends because like I'm a musician on the side and I actually was a cheerleader in college. So I had like, I don't know, just a lot of energy and creativity. So for my friends to picture me sitting down and being an accountant all day, every day was just, it was kind of surprising. But I did that I think it lasted like a year and a half or something like that. And I finally took a vacation. I was like, I just need a week. So I took a family vacation. We went to an Airbnb in California, and I just was so like mentally exhausted from working all day, every day for a year and a half. So all I wanted to do was just sit by the pool and read. And I'm not even a big reader. It's just like, it sounded nice to just not do anything. So my friend showed me Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a super popular book. I had never heard of it, I guess. That's how much of a reader I'm not. So I that whole week, I just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and sat by the pool. And just every page I read, I just felt like it was molding my worldview, basically. And by the end of the week, I had finished the book, and then it was time to go back to work. And it just hit me like, man, if I want to do that again, just sit by the pool and read for a week, like I got to put another year of being an accountant every day just to rack up the vacation days, So that's what sparked like just the interest to do something else. Mm-hmm. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks a lot about real estate and stuff. So I think from there, I just started looking things up. I saw bigger pockets, and it's just been a journey from then.
Man, and you said that you have mentors now. I mean, there's a few different ways I've seen people get into the business. It's joining a program, right? That's how Cade and I started. We joined under mentors and learned the business from somebody more successful. There's other people that just go out and School of Hard Knocks. They learn off of University of YouTube or YouTube University. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with the mentors and kind of start that process?
Probably not the best way, honestly. Yeah, I think I was just, there's so much real estate content out there. And so I think that's the first hurdle is like, who do I even listen to? Like there's so many different perspectives. So I kind of went through a trial and error process. I found a guy who was local in Phoenix. So that was like just a green flag. I was like, well, at least whatever this guy's going to teach me, it's working for him here. So I know it could work for me here. And I didn't really do much digging other than that. I went to a conference he was holding, like just a small, probably like 30 people. And he sold me on a mentorship program that ended up not being what I needed at the time. But that's kind of it. It's not something I regret because learning from that helped me pick a better mentor. And it's just from there, I've just, learned exactly what I need to ask and what I need to know. But that's it. I think I saw him on Facebook or something. And then I just went to a in-person meetup and then joined the mentorship.
So when you got back from that vacation, Tim, did you just jump full force into dropped everything, started looking up, like you said, looking up things online, looking for mentors, looking for, events to attend? Like what did that transition look like when you got back from that vacation?
Yeah, it was just in my free time. So I'm a runner and I like to work out. So during those things, I would listen to podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff. But I also am pretty, like when I do something, I want to do it right and to the best of my ability. So it's hard for me to do something as extensive as real estate investing just in my free time. So I think there was always an itch that I wanted to just do this full time and get the results as quick as I can and as fast as I can. So I think I probably lasted, this is just rough estimates, like maybe another half a year as an accountant of just until I was finally so burnt out that I was like, I'm either just going to, I tried to get a part-time job is what I did at the time. I'll get a part-time accounting job and spend a lot of time doing real estate investing in this mentorship. So that's kind of how I first got started doing that.
And when was that? When we're talking about time period, when was that?
That had to be, at least 2 years ago now. I'm the worst at timelines, but either 2 or 2.5 years ago now is when I quit my first full-time accounting job.
So you 2.5 years ago, you quit the full-time job. Do you end up finding a part-time?
So I found a different job. So I was doing public accounting, which I don't know if you have any, you're watching accountant, but
yep.
That's just like you're doing 60 hours a week every week, and there's no off season. I mean, they tell you there's a busy season and a slow season, but there's not. So I guess in my head, I was like, I'm just going to join a corporate gig and just work for one company. At least I can go down to 40 hours a week and then whatever. So I did that dude, now that you're mentioning this, it's funny, like thinking back, because I got a different job and I lasted 3 days. But I remember I sat down at that desk and I was like, this is it. This is a good job. I have a lot of free time. I'm going to start my investing. I sat down at the desk and I was like, I can't do this. It's just not me, dude. It's not. I cannot just sit here for 8 hours a day doing something I don't care about for a company that's not mine, just to do it again the next day. So I lasted 3 days. And on the third day, I told my boss, like, hey, I'm so sorry that you wasted these 3 days on me. The least I can do is tell you as soon as I can, I'm not going to last here. And I don't want you to waste any more resources training me. I got to try something else. So then when I did my first mentorship, I did it. That's what I mean. I did it full time. I quit that job and then was just doing that mentorship.
Dude, this story it just gets better and better. I have a question for you, because the people that are going to listen to this podcast, I promise you, they're going to go look at your Instagram, because they're going to want to see, you're one of the rare guests we've had that has done a fantastic job of documenting your journey. And they're going to want to see what real life looks like when you make this jump. But there was something that I caught on your Instagram, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. It had something to do with your bio saying that you're trying to convince your wife to let you be a real estate investor.
Yeah.
Did you get married right when you made all these decisions?
So that story I just told you, I wasn't even dating my wife yet. Yeah, I don't think I was even dating her. That was right before we started dating.
Uh-huh.
And then so we can get into the details, but basically 6 months after that mentorship, I quit. That mentorship went back to accounting. And that's when I started dating my wife. And then I took another leap to, should I just go through the whole thing?
Yeah, we just want to know the story, dude, because we need people that are listening to the podcast to realize that you and I talked about this yesterday on the phone. Those stories where the guy gets in the business and makes 100,000 in 2 weeks, like they're great. They make you feel good, but it's not real life, right? Your story is like watching your Instagram is real life. And we just want to share your story, man.
Okay, then I'll just go through it super quick. So basically I started dating my wife. I was an accountant again. But I was still just, my accountant job was just to pay the bills, and I was super picky, just trying to find the job that can give me the most flexibility. I didn't care how much I got paid. I didn't care if I liked the job. I just wanted flexibility. Just pay my rent and then let me be a real estate investor on the side. So during that job, I got engaged, and then I was there for, I think I hit my year there. And then I got married and went on my honeymoon. So got married, went on my honeymoon. Everything's good. Went on my honeymoon for a week. The day I get back, I walk into the office. This has never happened to me before, so I wasn't expecting anything. They're just like, hey, just come sit in the office real quick. And I'm like trying to put all my stuff down. And they're like, no, just come in real quick. And I'm like, okay, 1 second. Let me just put my lunch away. So I put my lunch in the fridge and everything. Finally, they make me come to the office, and they're just literally, I was there for probably 3 seconds. They just go, we're getting rid of your position. I'm sorry to break the news to you. And that was it. And I was like, and I didn't ask any questions, just said, okay. And so I got up, gave them my laptop, got my lunch, and then headed out. And for me, that was just like, it really wasn't like a big hit to take. For me, all I saw was just opportunity. Like, all right, now I get to be a real estate investor full time again. And yeah, so that's when the vlog on my Timmy Triumphs Instagram started. That's day one, basically.
Damn. So that was not too long ago. That was sub 100 days ago.
Right.
And in the last, 100 days, how's it been? What have you been doing? I mean, this is really the meat and potatoes of it that we wanted to share with people, is that you've been putting in the work every single day and you've been telling us what you're doing and showing us, but what's it been like for you?
It's been, man, it's been good and bad. I started the Instagram because I joined another mentorship, a much better mentorship. I'll just shout him out because I have nothing bad to say about him. Ryan Zolan with Agent Investors is what I joined. He specializes in on-market and agent outreach. So basically, he's making offers on market and making relationships with the agents who have the listings. And then on top of that, he's just cold calling other agents and just building a pipeline of agents to send them off-market deals. That's where I started, and that's the mentor who told me to be loud on social media, and that's why I started my vlog. So it's been great. Since I started that, I did that for about 60 days nonstop. And in those 60 days, I got four houses under contract. None of them closed, which is, again, that's like the real, the realness of the business that not a lot of people share. None of them closed, and I actually lost $2,000 on one of them because I had a buyer put down non-refundable earnest money, and then they claimed I didn't disclose enough, and then the title company let them take their earnest money back after mine had become non-refundable. So again, I might not have made any money in those 60 days, but I feel so much more intelligent. Just I have so much more experience to take on to whatever I do next. And that's what I focused on. I have more questions I know I need to ask, more things I need to know before I, take on the next venture. So that was 60 days in. And then from day 60 to day 85 was my last post, was interesting. I mean, the cool thing about social media is that you get connected with, I think literally hundreds. I should show you my DMs, just scroll through them. It's crazy, of people who just want to see me succeed and want to help me, which you don't expect. I did not expect that. What does this random person have to gain from me? I don't know, finding success. But the thing is, all 100 of those people have different visions on what success looks like and different ways on how I should achieve that. So honestly, day 60 through 85 was a lot of just trial and error with a lot of different things. And then on day 85, I realized it's going to take massive action to truly get results quick. And by quick, I mean within a month or two, not overnight.
Right.
And that action needs to be focused and directed. So that has been my journey for the last week or a few days, is just okay, let's block out the noise. Even though everyone's trying to help me, let's block out the noise, pick one or two or three people who I know I can trust and want the best for me. Pick something I can focus on and just put the blinders on and just go hard for 60 days. I call it like a hell week, basically, but a hell 2 months more like.
Yeah.
Dude, you've talked a lot about your excitement, right? There wasn't a ton of fear or stress. I mean, you get back the day after your honeymoon. Job, your accounting job's now done with. You hit the ground running with these first 60 days, and then you've got days 60 through 85. Even when you're talking about those 4 deals you put under contract and losing $2,000, seems like you didn't seem too tripped out, man. Has there been any fear or any stress, especially without any consistent paycheck? What has the past 85 days looked like? Just maybe obviously the excitement, but any negative emotions? What have you gone through?
Yeah. So I am very, very blessed to be able to say I've never struggled with, mental health stuff. I've never been one to struggle with depression or anxiety or any of that stuff. I know how hard that can be for people. So yes, overall, it's just been mainly positivity and having a good perspective and positive outlook. But there has been times, especially on day 60. Day 60 was rough because I had 4 contracts fall through. And at this time, I still don't have proof of concept. And I think that's a huge thing when you do your first deal. And it's like, however much you believe it's possible, when you get that first deal, now you know it's possible. And I still don't have that. So on day 60, I don't have proof of concept yet. I had 4 contracts fall through.
On the same day?
No. This is just up until that point.
Oh, okay.
I had 4 contracts fall through. But on day 60, like probably from day 58 to 60, I had 3 or 4 properties that I was hoping something would happen on, and all 4 kind of just fizzled out. I either had a conversation with the sellers or the agents, and they just said, this isn't going to work, and it kind of fizzled out. And I looked at my pipeline, and there wasn't anything in it. Like, I didn't have anything else I was working on. And then it kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, I'm 60 days in, and it's not like there's nothing I'm like excited about anymore. There's no like hope. So that was the first time I felt like real anxiety, like, oh gosh, like this actually might not work. And I think that's why after day 60, I started experimenting with different tactics and stuff. But yeah, that was, it lasted probably 2 or 3 hours where I felt like I was like having like actual anxiety. And it got to the point I had like felt it so bad in my chest that I was just like, I wasn't like doing any self-harm or anything, but I was just trying to like almost punch it out of my chest, that feeling of just like, because your body's like, you need to do something, but your mind's just, you have no idea. Like, what do I do now? So that was day 60. I didn't really show or talk about that in my vlog or anything, so it's cool I get to share it here. But yeah, I do think that's important for people who want to get started. Is like, you're going to go through stuff like that for sure. That is not something that could be avoided, and it's not even a bad thing to go through. I think that's just, what you need to kind of push forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. And I can say Cade and I have been very open about both the blessings, because it's fun to share the wins, but we're also very open about the struggles. And I can say that exact thing you're talking about, like hitting your chest, because it's kind of like your body's tightening up, your brain's kind of freezing up a little bit. You know that you need to do something, but not sure what. I've been through that more than a couple times. And, if like you're saying, if you haven't had it, it's just part of the journey. It's not necessarily, a bad thing, only unless you let it kind of overwhelm you. But it's a natural thing that happens. And it's, I think, what a lot of successful people talk about, that little hunger. It creates that hunger in you to like go find the next thing, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody likes that feeling. So it's interesting to hear you share it here.
Yeah, dude, like that pit, and not like in your stomach all the way up to your chest. And it's, yeah, dude, 100%.
We have days too. In the 7 years we've been doing this, like I've had days I told Kate, I'm just out. I'm going to go for a run, or I'm going to go lift. I'm going to go do something, because like I'm not going to fix this the way I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you didn't really share too much about that on social media. What do you typically like to share on social media? I mean, you have quite a decent following at this point. A lot of people, like you said, want to see you win. What do you tend to show on social media, and what do you feel like has been the type of thing that you get both good reactions from, but also you personally feel good about sharing?
So when I first started the vlog, I expected me and maybe my mom to watch them. I did not expect a single follower on that. It was strictly just for accountability for myself. And again, to show my mentors that I was doing it every day. So when I first started doing it, it was more just like a life vlog, like, start with a run, and then kind of what I ate for lunch, and then what I did in my wholesaling journey, and then what I did for fun at night. And then it started really picking up, before I was getting like thousands of views on each of them. And I tried not to let the comments like dictate what I was posting. So I was like, I'm not doing this for a following. I'm just doing it for, myself and accountability. But I did notice the posts that got the most traction and really had people coming back and commenting and stuff was when it was just wholesale focused. This is what I did in my wholesale business today. These were my goals. Like, I'd do stuff like, I have this list of 250 contacts, and I'm going to call each one and then share like how many picked up, how many had a conversation with me, how many cussed me out, how many, did all that stuff. And I think it's just those little kind of specific things that people are like, oh, like this is what a real day of wholesaling might look like for me. That really caught traction and stuff. So by the end of it, I still post like some running stuff just because I think that's fun for me. And it is a huge part of wholesaling for me, is being consistent with physical activity too. Because if I'm getting up early and running and then getting prepped for the day correctly, I'm super productive the rest of the day, versus if I'm just getting up at like 8 and then starting my calls, I'm just slow the rest of the day. So yeah, I mean, to the extent of my personal life, it's just, physical stuff, like physical health stuff. And then the rest is just the specifics of what a day of wholesaling looks like.
Tim, when was day 85?
That was last week, maybe, roughly.
So yeah. What's been going on between day 85 to today? So the first few days, I just went through my Instagram and I just went through a couple of people who I had seen are doing stuff locally here in Phoenix. And I just started setting up meetings. Just like, I just want to get input from people now who I know are want to see me succeed and who are doing this well. So that's when I met with like Brent Daniels. I know you guys are familiar with him. Mm-hmm. He's out here in Phoenix locally. And even like, dude, it's crazy. So someone from Pace Morby's team reached out to me and was like, hey, Pace wants you to send him a DM because he wants to help you. It's just crazy that if I didn't accomplish anything on my Instagram, at least I just got great connections. So I was just meeting with people and just deciding what my route was going to be. I knew that and I still know that I'm going to do like a 60-day hell months. So it's just been figuring out what that's going to be, and who I'm going to allow to give me the input during that time. Because, like I said, you got to put your blinders on and just filter out the noise a little bit, but you still need some guidance and mentorship through it. So that's what it's been. And then, so I know that's going to be tough. I know it's going to be super, super, super hard to do 60 days of. I'm planning on doing like 8 to 10 hours a day for 60 days. So I'd be shocked if I didn't get something done within that time. It's just been a lot of that and a lot of just resting. I'm going to go to California and play some golf with my dad this weekend. And then it's just going to turn it on from there. Let's go.
We need to go. We need to go on a golf trip ourselves in honor of you, Tim.
Let's do it, man. Let's play some golf.
Let's go.
So, Tim, I have a question then. Putting yourself in the perspective of somebody sitting on the other side of this podcast, just listening, you have done more than 99% of people have done in terms of wanting to be in real estate investing. And you've actually taken the leap and putting in the effort and done these things. You're coming up, like I said, like we're on that somewhere in that 90s of days into this. If you were to go back to day one and kind of remind yourself and tell yourself some information now that you've been doing this for 3 months, what would you tell yourself? I mean, what learning lessons have you learned just in this short period of time?
So I wouldn't change much, honestly. I think when you first start out, the hardest things to overcome, you realize aren't that hard once you do it a few times. Like when I first started out, the thought of getting on the phone with a random dude and asking about his house, like that seemed impossible and super uncomfortable. And now that even though I don't have any deals under my belt, that's like second nature. I have no problem getting on the phone with someone. So I would just tell myself, like, have a realistic expectation of when you're going to start making money. And just get the small things that you're uncomfortable with out of the way. Just get the bad reps out of the way. Because then once you do that, I feel like now I'm in such a good spot where I just I have the skills and I have the reps. Now I just got to hone that in. And that's why I'm still so optimistic and so confident, because I know now, like, now that I've done it before, I know what the process looks like. I know what questions I need answered. I know, like I said, what the process is. Now I just got to direct it, and I'm so confident I'm going to get something done quick now. But that first, 85 days was, on paper, it might not seem like I accomplished much, but like internally, I know I'm like, if I went back to day one and kind of evaluated the confidence levels, like I'm a completely different person just from trying,
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Tim, I was thinking this too. So you've shared a couple hints of what your mentality is and kind of a little bit what's been driving you, right? You shared something a little while ago where you were sitting at that desk job in accounting for those 3 days and you were like, dude, I don't want to be working for somebody else on somebody else's business, right? And I think that's evident. That's been a huge motivator in you trying to build your own real estate investing business. What's your purpose, dude? What's driving you to want this so bad?
Oh man. Well, I'm married now, so someone's got to do it. No, I'm just kidding. I always tell my wife, "Did you just be a nurse already? Because then I won't have to figure this out." No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it goes back to when I was sitting at the pool reading a book for a week. I mean, it's just a certain quality of life I feel like I want, and not even that I just want selfishly, but I just think humans are meant to live. Like, I think humans are meant to have purpose and a goal, constant goals to strive for. And I think the important things in life are, your friends and your family, and to build a lifestyle where you can really prioritize those things takes, some years of discomfort. And I will gladly go through those years to hopefully have that lifestyle one day. So it's not a matter of not wanting to work, 10 hours a day. It's just, what is that working 10 hours a day going to lead to? So sitting behind the desk at an accounting job was like, I'm working 10 hours a day just to work 10 hours a day until I retire,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's my goal. Is I know there's a quality of life that isn't just for certain people. I think my personal opinion is for everybody. Humans are meant to live working 9 to 5 all day, every day until they die. So it's just, for me, it's just taking that leap and saying, this is what I need to do to achieve that. We've got one life to live, man. Like, if I fail, I fail, but I gave it my all. In my one life I get to live. So yeah. And I don't think I'm going to fail, honestly. Not in a cocky way, but just, I don't know who really puts in that much work consistently and just doesn't, I don't know, succeed in some way.
And you said it earlier too, and it's something that we've noticed as well, is like, you have, just because the profit, the numbers on your bank account haven't shown different, you are such a different person than who you are before you start making those calls, putting in those reps, getting those projects under contract, having those fall out, dealing with the disappointment of not getting something that you worked super hard for, then creating the same courage to get back up, do it again, do it again, do it again. Like, and you've put yourself out there the whole time too. I mean, I think the thing that unique ability that you have that I don't see as often is, like, you've got a relentlessly optimistic spirit, and you're exactly right. I have full faith and confidence you're going to get something very soon here, just because you've been putting in the work for the time, and now you're putting yourself in the rooms with the people that are going to give you the kind of those last little, what does Jason always say? They move the needle just that last little bit that gets you the contract. You've already done massive amounts of the work.
Right.
But that's just so awesome to hear. And that relentless optimism is definitely an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's always a learning curve. Like, even the people that get lucky and are successful, it's like they have the bad reps still,
Oh yeah.
So for the 99% of us that aren't going to get lucky the first time we try, like, to get through those bad reps is just part of the journey. So, like, I would just do it, man. Like, there's no point in taking direct action when you don't have those basic skills and haven't overcome those very first hurdles yet. Like, I mean, it's always good to have, direction and stuff, but it's not as important when you're just doing your first reps, So I'm glad I'm at the point now where I've done those first reps, and now when someone, moves that needle just enough, it's like I can make the most of it,
Yeah.
Dude, and Tim, so now you're in like this soft reboot period, right? Like you mentioned, you're going to go to California, spend some time with your dad, play some golf, and really kind of shut out all the noise and focus, but figuring out what that focus is first. Do you have a goal in mind, or have you told yourself, okay, by X day, I want to make sure I've gone through all of these, I've gone through and met these people or talked to this person or researched these different things that I want to focus on? Do you have a targeted kind of start date for this new 60-day hell months?
Yeah, so I have a couple meetings set up this week, but you know what's crazy is that I haven't been wholesaling all day every day, so I forget I keep what day it is. It's Tuesday. So yeah, I'm going to California this upcoming weekend, and then by Monday I'll be back in Phoenix, and I want to have the strategy I'm going to use. The few people I'm going to allow to really mentor me through that strategy, and then I'm going to sit down with my wife and say, "Here's my 60-day hell months. This is day 60. If I don't have these results by this day, we'll change something up. I'll do a part-time job or whatever to pay the rent." But just to have at least a solid structure by Monday, that's my goal right now. And then, yeah, I guess until then it's just resting and recovering. And that's actually kind of why I stopped posting, because I noticed when I show me resting, you get all the trolls in the comments like, "Oh, this guy doesn't care that much, oh, he should be doing 12 hours a day," whatever, sending me mean DMs. So I'm like, I don't want to show people that I'm just taking a week to reset. But yeah, so hopefully by this upcoming Monday after this weekend, I'll know exactly, I'll have a structure for my 60 days.
Let's freaking go, dude.
I'll say from our perspective, our team is huge about resting and recovering. I used to think that you can just burn the candle on both ends and it's fine, and that's always failed. So you're exactly right. Ignore those idiots that are commenting that you don't care. I mean, right. It's just like running. You can't go a sprint every single day. Your body's got to rest up if you want to perform at top performance.
Exactly.
Well, dude, as we're kind of coming to the end of this, it seems to me like you're on the brink, and by the next time we talk to you, you're going to have a massive win to talk about.
Hopefully, dude.
Dude, I can just feel it. With what you're telling us, dude, this is like the dark before the storm when you need a little breath and we talked about this yesterday, something's going to happen. You're going to get hit like a bag of bricks with a deal, and you're going to realize, I have to do this, and it's going to work. And you're going to be like, damn, that was easier than all the other contracts that I tried to find.
Right.
But my question is this. You still don't have proof of concept for yourself. What's the mantra you're telling yourself right now going into the next 60 days that is going to get you through to this contract?
I don't think there's a mantra. Honestly, I talked to my mom about this on the phone because, my parents don't really know what I'm doing. They just trust me. And my mom's always bringing up like, what? Are you sure this is legit? Because to her, it's like, I'm still in like a pyramid scheme. It's just all fakes. So I think the mantra for me is more just like the iron sharpens iron kind of thing. Like, I'm surrounded by people who are successful. I'm surrounded by people who have gone through what I'm going through. So I don't really need like a mantra. I just know it's part of the process. I'm fully expecting to go through more hurdles before I get that first deal. And I welcome it. So I don't know. I know that there's going to be days where I'm putting in a lot of work and not seeing a lot of results. But to have the guidance that I have to know, like, you're doing it the right way, just keep doing it until you see those results I'm blessed to have that. And that's kind of what the social media has given to me. So yeah, I don't think there's a mantra. I just think it's the people I've surrounded myself with.
Dude, talking about social media, where can people find you? Where can they follow along once you kick off these next 60 days and follow along to what you're doing?
I'm at Timmy Triumphs which my wife told me do not name it that, but I did, and it worked. So take that. So that's me on Instagram and TikTok, Timmy Triumphs. And I will say another thing about social media is like, imagine going 85 days and then just having, however many thousand followers and then just giving up. Like, yeah, I can't do that. I've put myself in a position where I have to find success. So I have to show someone like, look, I did it. So yeah, Timmy Triumphs, be there for that next post where I'm holding the check, hopefully.
We fucking love it,
dude.
And Tim, we're here to help too. I know that you're saying that you have to make sure that you put up the blinders, and we totally agree. You only want to be listening to people that have already done what you want to do. If there's anything we can do, I know you and I spoke briefly. Our business is out of Central California. We're fixing flip. We're wholesale, and rentals. But our bread and butter is direct mail and agent referral. So if there's anything we can do to help you get that first deal, we would love to just be a part of that journey, man, and just know that we contributed and gave you a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, you guys are definitely of those few that I'm gonna hopefully stay in touch with during this time. So I'll definitely be reaching out and asking for your guys' assistance.
Dude, let's go.
Well, we're going to just put it into existence now. If you're open to it, we're going to have you back on once you have that first deal to talk about how it goes, because the next 60 days are going to be fun. There's going to be more to talk about. And so if you say to yourself, you want to share it, we're going to want to have you on when you have that proof of concept.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it's sooner than later.
That's it, man.
Back on.
Let's go, dude. There it is.
Well, Tim, thanks for joining us on the pod. We will have you back soon, and enjoy your hell months.
Will do, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.